What is up, YouTube? Ncaa31 here, bringing you user game number 2 of the NCAA 12 OS Legacy Online Dynasty.
Taken from the 3-yard line.
UConn, Texas Tech. This particular game right here is a turnover festival. Like every now and then, you just have one of those games where the turnovers are just flying left and right for both teams. And
first down, 10 to go.
Here's the thing about what annoys me about passing in these games at times. I don't really have much of an issue of the linebacker super squad. It rarely happens to me. I know how to, put a little touch on the ball to get over them and, not have that happen. Those kind of throws don't happen to me very often. But what annoys me are the cases where your receivers are just spectators as the defensive backs attack the ball. The receivers don't attack the ball like you would like to see them do unless you user catch. When you user catch, you see a whole bunch of great catch animations that you don't see as much when you just let your receivers catch the ball. And that's a problem. That's a problem that needs to be taken a look at and rectified, because that leads to interceptions. How many times have you thrown an interception where your receiver, has a step or two on the defensive back, but he doesn't make a play on the ball, but you see the defender, turn and attack the football? That happens too much. And that's honestly how most of my interceptions that I throw occur. I mean, I occasionally, misread a coverage like everybody else does and make a mistake. I'm not perfect, I'm only human. But I would say the majority of my interceptions come on those plays where my receivers just don't attack the football. But anyway, another thing, I share my knowledge, I share my schemes, and the thanks I get are people using them against me. Thanks, guys. Punks. I'm just kidding. It's all fun. I don't have an ego. I just like to talk football, talk sports, talk X's and O's, and, share things with all you guys. It's all fun. It's all fun and games here. It's all leisure. There's not anything to be taken so serious, because that just kind of sucks all of the joy out of playing these games. And I'm not that type of person. I like to turn lemons into lemonade and enjoy what I have in my console. If I didn't enjoy it, it wouldn't be in my console. Plain and simple. But I want to touch on a couple of things about the college football. Had a heck of a day yesterday in college football. Clemson falls from the ranks of the unbeaten, and that doesn't really surprise me all that much. That was, the perfect trap game. Georgia Tech is coming off a couple of losses. They're a couple of losses in a row, so they're a little bit off the radar, but they're still a very, very good team. They're a legitimate, second half of the top 25 type team.
He may have changed things up here.
Georgia Tech is solid, so when you have a team like Clemson that's a little bit suspect on defense, maybe a little overrated, going on the road and having to deal with the flex bone, that's a trap game. And Georgia Tech got stung, or Clemson stung by Georgia Tech, no pun intended. So we can scratch off Clemson from the list of the unbeaten and put them in that one-loss category. And there's a whole bunch of teams in that one-loss category. We have Oregon, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Nebraska, South Carolina, Clemson, Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech has quietly had a typical Virginia Tech season. They're always floating around in that bottom half of the top 10, the top 12 range. Penn State. I wonder how many people realize that Penn State only has one loss, and their one loss was against Alabama. So they still have plenty to play for. Plenty on the table for them. K-State got exposed a little bit. West Virginia, no one takes West Virginia seriously. They're 6-2, and no one takes Cincinnati seriously. They're 6-1. No one takes the Big East seriously. And with our unbeatens, we have LSU, Alabama, Oklahoma State, Stanford, and Boise State. So the question is, we have to go one more week before adding either LSU or Alabama to the one-loss discussion. I think Oklahoma State's going to eventually lose a game. I think their defense is not going to hold up and will let them down at some point. Stanford, I think, will run the table as well. Boise will run the table, unless they get caught sleepwalking through a game where they just get depressed and demoralized because they seem to be trapped in that number 5 spot with no real way to move up unless everybody collapses. So my question is, how do you guys think this will all play out? I think the winner of the LSU-Bama game will run the table and end up playing for the national championship. I think Boise State goes undefeated, and the winner of the LSU-Alabama game will play Stanford for the national championship, and Boise State will be left playing Cincinnati. Thanks for coming. You know, poor Boise State, but there's not a whole heck of a lot they can do unless they get involved in the whole, you know, super conference wars and realignments that go on, and they can get themselves into a power league. But for now, I would put Oregon at the top of the one-loss team, simply because, one, I think they've played the best since their one loss, and their one loss was against the current top-rated team in the BCS standings. So I'll put them
from the 25-yard line
up against Oklahoma as the second, and then followed by Arkansas. And I want to go with Penn State. I'll throw Penn State a bone
They bring him down
for now, just for the heck of it.
When it's the cornerback who gets the sack.
Yep, especially
what would be really interesting to see is what would happen if the LSU-Alabama winner loses the SEC title game, and
this one is far from over. Our score here in Lubbock.
Stanford and Boise State are the two unbeaten teams left standing. What happens then? Do one or both of them get jumped by a one-loss team? I think Boise State will. Oh, and I forgot to throw in Houston as one of the unbeatens, but they don't count. You know, anytime, what's the point of throwing 9 touchdown passes against Rice, Houston? I mean, we all know you're the best team in that conference. What kind of message are you trying to send by rolling up 9 TD passes against Rice? Are you trying to make a quote-unquote statement to the voters? I hate when teams do that. But an interesting scenario would be if Stanford and Boise are the only 2 unbeaten teams standing out there, or if Boise is the only one. Does Boise still get passed over? I think not. I think in that scenario, Boise State would be put into the game just out of shame. They'd be too ashamed not to put Boise State into the BCS title game. And they'll play either LSU or Bama and get their heads kicked in. So, the way I see it shaking out, I'm going to make a prediction and say it's going to be the winner of the LSU-Alabama game against Stanford for the BCS championship. That's how I think things are going to pan out as of right now. And of course, that may change down the road, but I'm going to stick to that right now. So, that is that. I'd love to hear what you guys think, and I will talk to you all later. Peace.
Lets it fly. And it's going the other way. It's the senior corner.
That's 3 times today that he's given the ball away.
Line. First down. Here's a counter, losing yards.
Excellent job by the defense to diagnose the play so quick.
From the 20-yard line. Third down. Here's a throw, and it's almost picked. So, fourth down coming up.
And give credit to the defense there. They played very disciplined.
And that'll put them up by a couple of scores. It's up. And they tack on 3 points. There are 5 wide receivers split out. The quarterback in the gun. He drops back. Fires incomplete.
They got lucky on that play. That receiver was wide open, but the quarterback just missed him.
They'll run the option. He gets out to about the 38-yard line. He takes the option pitch and gets 2, maybe 3 yards. Throws a strike over the middle. And he's finally knocked out of bounds at the 18-yard line. That was a nice. Quick throw. What a play to set him up with a 1st and goal. It's not over yet, folks. We head to the 4th quarter. Our score. Touchdown, Red Raiders.
This back has great vision, which allows him to make runs like this one we just saw.
We'll get the ball here at the 25-yard line. 1st down, 10 to go. Fires across the middle. He's on the run. At the 40. And they finally knock him out at the 28-yard line.
That's a good...
Looking to throw. Throws into coverage, just picked off.
The game isn't over yet, but I might consider pulling this guy.
Another run. And they're not going to get it. Great stop. Gutsy play to try to run for the 1st. They're just short.
Well, they had a long...
And the safety with the interception. There he goes. He goes down at the 17-yard line. And he's got it.
And gave his receiver a chance to make a play. They picked up the 1st down, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them come back to that play.
He gives a pump fake.
Good job here by the defense. If you let this quarterback set and throw...
An empty backfield, 5 wide receivers in the formation. Here's the screen to the wideout. Tackle at the 46-yard line. The wide receiver.
Off screen passes go back for a touchdown.
He pumps once. Caught out in the open. Dives. Touchdown. And for Williams, he racks up more yardage, and that brings his receiving total to 100. 2nd down. They're calling an audible. Throws to the receiver, incomplete. And he misses his wide receiver there.
Yeah, you're right.
Straight run, nothing going on there. Connecticut will take a timeout. That's their 2nd of the half. Another 3rd down. Just under 2 to go in the game. Caught, open field. He's taken down at the 27. And for Young, he hits the 300-yard mark. And the ball game's over. And our final score in this one, Texas Tech 37, Connecticut 24.